Hello, Greenvillians, and welcome to another episode of Greenville Mic'd, your favorite local podcast for all things happening in Greenville, South Carolina, including noteworthy news, restaurant reviews, events coming up this week, and more. I'm Will.
And I'm Tracy. Inflatable Santas are taking over Greenville. Rolled ice cream is back, and we've got our review of Village Grind. It's Monday, December 11th.
Welcome to the weekly rundown.
All right, so getting us started today, I thought we could start by talking about the Santas on Earl Street. So this has been a big deal this year.
Oh, yeah.
I saw it first on Instagram, and then Greenville Today did a write-up about it as well. And then also the local news talked about it. They counted 37 inflatable Santas on Earl Street, but apparently more and more are popping up each day. And so I love this.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's awesome when any community goes all out for Christmas. And apparently there is a really sweet backstory to it as well. So local Leah Tankersley moved to Earl Street in 1995 and one day found herself in the ER with her dad, and they found out that he is sadly terminal. So her friends began asking her what they could do for her during this time.
And this is recently. This is not in 1995.
Right, yeah.
But
She's
she
just
moved to
been
Earl
here
Street.
since 1995, or been on Earl Street since 1995. But then at that same time, Leah had been on her phone at the hospital and saw a video of a neighborhood in Toronto with giant inflatable Santas in every front yard. And so basically she loved it. So she sent it to her friend's group chat and said, "Have you seen this? This would make me so happy if we were able to do this." And so from there, neighbor and friend Anne shared a link to purchase the inflatable Santas in the neighborhood group chat. And she also noted that the Santas needed to be large. So I actually think she sent a specific Santa because all the Santas are the same.
Yeah, they look really similar.
And so basically it went from there and was just a snowball effect. And now, like I said, there's 37 Santas with more popping up each day. And I think it's a really, really cool story.
It is an awesome story. I know. It's one part, it's so cool to see the community rally behind her, kind of, and just showing their support in one small way. Two, I just love the neighborhood communal gathering around something like this.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. There's that neighborhood near your parents that they just go absolutely all out for Christmas lights. And it just reminds me of that. I love how, because the one near your parents' neighborhood, they all have very similar, the PVC pipe arches over the driveways.
Right. Which now that I think about it, I think, oh no, there was a neighborhood that did candy canes behind every mailbox.
Okay.
And that was a big thing. And that was to raise money for a kid who had cancer or something like that. So
that's cool.
It's really cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love it. I'm a fan. We should get something going in our neighborhood.
Right. I agree. I would love that. So
yeah. Very cool. We haven't been over there to actually see the Santas yet.
Right.
We need to do that. We'll probably do that today.
We probably will, but there's your feel-good holiday story.
I love it. Such a big fan. All right, let's get into some news for this week. So, story number 1, construction is set to begin for True Line, a new music venue coming to the west end of Greenville in early 2024. True Line will have a 1,700-seat hall, a 400-seat performance room, a VIP club, multiple bars, a rooftop terrace, and a courtyard. Holy cow.
This place is going to be bumping.
Sounds like quite the place. I want to know, do media personalities get access to the VIP club?
We'll have to ask them about that.
We need to send them an email.
We do.
Hey, we're Will and Tracy from Greenville Mic'd.
Right.
Does that automatically get us access to the VIP club?
Yeah. Free passes.
Yeah. At least once,
I know. I mean, I think we should have our own reserved VIP seating area.
The Greenville Mic'd section.
Yeah. With 10 seats where we can bring our friends.
Yeah. Where are Will and Tracy on a Friday night? Always at the club.
Catch us at True Line.
Yeah. In our own section.
Yeah, but I'm very excited for that. That'll be fun.
That will be fun.
Next up, we've got some news on Cream Shack, the rolled ice cream shop that closed down actually just a few months ago in September, because I remember we reported on this. And good news, they're planning on reopening in the Blaze Pizza location on Main Street. So the owner hopes to have the lease secured by mid-December. So good news for Cream Shack lovers, bad news for Blaze pizza lovers.
Cream Shack's retirement was shorter than Tom Brady's first retirement.
Yeah,
They were gone for like a couple months and now they're back.
I know.
And it wasn't just like, hey, we're looking for a new location, might be back in a little bit. They made it sound like they were done.
They did.
Like, business is hard. We need a break. We're out of here.
I know.
And now, boom, they're back 2 months later.
It's like kind of sneaky.
Almost like they were, done with Cream Shack for a few weeks and they were like, all right, we haven't sold our equipment yet. We can't live this life.
Right.
We're opening back up.
We miss rolled ice cream. I mean, I think it's the only rolled ice cream spot in Greenville.
Yeah,
so.
I know. They need to be open.
For
so
sure.
I'm glad they're coming back.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm sad for Blaze.
I know. Well, Blaze is like everywhere though.
Blaze is a chain.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we'll take. Oh, it is a chain, isn't it?
It is. I was wondering if Cream Shack was a chain.
I don't think it is.
Okay.
Maybe they had multiple locations at some point, but
Maybe.
I think it's still native to Greenville.
All right. We'll go with that.
We'll go with that. All right, next up, a new 54-acre park is coming to Simpsonville. Greenville County plans to create the new park just north of Simpsonville on the property where Oakland Plantation once operated. The site is currently owned by the YMCA of Greenville, but the Upstate Preservation Trust is going to purchase it for $1.2 million, half of which would be provided by the South Carolina Conservation Bank and the other half from Greenville County Historic and Natural Resources Trust. They've also raised $250,000 to support the restoration of several historic 19th century buildings.
Cool.
So, pretty cool.
Yeah.
54 acres is pretty big from park standards, at least in this area. I mean, Unity Park is 60 acres.
Wow.
And Unity Park is pretty big.
Yeah.
In my book.
Yeah. Well, I'm all for the creation of new parks and preserving green space. So
I know. That is the thing. Like, as Greenville continues to grow, and it's just going to grow, and there's nothing we can do to stop it. So if you're resentful of its growth, I'm sorry.
Just got to get in the car.
Just got to hop in.
Yeah.
But I think as we grow, it is important to like decide what direction we want the city to go, And I want it to go to the direction of lots of green space, lots of parks, keep expanding that Swamp Rabbit Trail.
Yeah.
Like there's certain, like if you go to a big city, like, I don't know, like Chicago has a very different vibe than San Francisco,
Mm-hmm.
Like you go around San Francisco and San Francisco has issues, but there's a lot of parks, there's a lot of green space. It just feels more like natural, kind of open air. Like it's less like smoggy, densely packed, tall building city, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want us to become like smoggy big city.
I don't think we ever will. And Greenville's also an active city, so I feel like we build things around that. So keep the Swamp Rabbit Trail growing, keep parks going. That's what the people want that are moving here.
Oh, for sure.
So
yeah, but anytime I see something like this, I'm like, okay, I like this. Good. That's another step in the right direction.
Yeah, we're taking steps in the right direction.
For sure.
All right. Next up, a little over a week ago, an 8-foot tall inflatable Santa went missing from the Children's Museum of the Upstate. And the museum actually posted on Instagram asking for help to find the missing Santa. So I did not report on this last week because I thought it was a joke.
It looked like a joke.
It seemed like a spoof on Instagram.
Yeah.
I guess they were just handling it really well, but turns out it wasn't a joke. So their Santa did go missing and they needed help and the community stepped up. So maybe I was the only person that thought this was a joke.
Yeah. Everybody else like jumped into action.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
we were like laughing.
I know. I was just confused. But so they had people calling to donate their inflatable Santas. A crew from Home Depot showed up with an inflatable Santa and a snowman. Someone Venmo'd the museum. So now the museum has an inflatable Santa, a snowman, and money to buy more inflatables if they wanted. And hopefully they just secure it a little better this time, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think what made it seem like a joke was it was like a local news report on the local news with a reporter out there in front of it, like, like a violent crime had just happened there, know?
Yeah.
She was like interviewing like the guy who was the facilities manager, and it was just like, oh my gosh, like what happened? But then it was like, oh, it was just an inflatable Santa,
Yeah. So the lady who was in the video, I think she's their marketing director.
Okay.
So, but I don't know. It just felt weird to Honestly, like it just felt really weird. I would love to hear what other people thought about it.
Yeah, I know. It's almost like you expected like crime scene tape to be in the background.
Yeah.
And that would have been like, okay, this is for sure a joke.
Right.
So,
or just more of a post of like, hey, our Santa was stolen.
You know what this really means?
What?
Crime is low in Greenville.
Yeah. Does it mean that, though?
I don't know if it means that. But, well, I mean, I guess it's still crime that the inflatable Santa was stolen.
Yeah.
But the fact that an inflatable Santa being stolen from a storefront makes the local news, I think that's a good sign. That just means there's not like worse things to report on.
But did it
in
make
that moment.
Was it on the local news?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was
the
on the local
video
news. You're
that
right.
we're referencing was
Yeah.
on the local news. So I'm just saying, obviously there was nothing worse happening at that moment.
But I'm also talking about the video that was on their Instagram. That was not on the local news.
What video was on their Instagram?
It was the marketing director interviewing the
whoever
groundskeeper.
was outside like with a microphone doing a live interview. That's what you're referring to?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure that was a local news video as well.
Okay.
We'll have to look into this. Either way,
yeah.
I'm glad the Santa was restored. A different Santa, but a Santa nonetheless.
Yeah.
And a snowman. And we're sorry that we thought it was a joke.
Well, also like comments were like bah humbug. Like I don't know what to think about
People
that.
duped us.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, we're glad they have a Santa and a snowman. And sorry we didn't talk about it last week.
All right. Next up, Greenville County Council approved an ordinance with a goal of ensuring Pelham Road does not become like Woodruff Road in the next 25 to 30 years. Those are the actual words of Councilman Chris Harrison. And I don't blame him. Pelham Road Corridor Overlay District would encourage design for mixed-use commercial projects with attention to walkability, vehicular connectivity. It sounds very fancy when they write it that way. Area beautification and signage.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. I will say Woodruff Road is awful.
It is awful.
I try my best to avoid it at all times, but you really can't. Because I mean, it's got Target, it's got the only Costco in town, which is an absolute nightmare.
Yep.
Trader Joe's.
Yep.
Most of the time, also an absolute nightmare.
Yep.
So obviously mistakes were made with that road.
It's chain land.
It is
where all the chains live. We have talked about this before.
It's where all the chains live.
They just can't escape Woodruff Road. Yeah, I was looking this up, and so there is a Woodruff Road congestion relief project that's been going on since 2020. So it's been years in the making. And they're basically planning on doing a like 4-lane parallel route to help alleviate congestion on Woodruff. And so, but that, I mean, the projected construction's not till 2026. So it's still going to be a few more years. And I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, all the congestion will be alleviated on Woodruff. So kudos to the city of Greenville for trying to preemptively avoid that on Pelham Road.
Yeah.
Woodruff is like the guinea pig that you did the experiment on and it died.
Right. At least we know it's bad. We're going to fix it.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, next up, we've got our Eats and Treats segment brought to you by Common Pops. Common ingredients, but uncommonly good popsicles. There's no better way to celebrate the season this week than to grab a few peppermint mocha pops for the whole family, pack into the minivan, and drive around Greenville to see all the inflatable Santas.
Would you say that Common Pops are like Christmas on a stick?
I would definitely say that. Check them out at Common Pops on Instagram or commonpops.com. All right, so today we're continuing our coffee shop theme.
So many good coffee shops.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about the Village Grind.
One of the best.
I would say it's one of the best. Located over in West Greenville, I think it might have my favorite vibe of all the coffee shops in Greenville.
Because of the plants.
Because of the plants. The plants are everywhere and it feels like boho and vintage. Like the seating is super vintage.
Mm-hmm.
Like almost like it's like out of your grandma's house, but in a really good way.
Yep.
And it's so cute. I would say it's like a little girly too, which I like that.
Yeah.
Would you say that? Do you
that
feel
it's
like
a little girly?
Do you feel it's like it's girly when you go there?
I mean, maybe there's something about a lot of plants being more feminine than masculine. But I like a lot of plants.
Okay.
So maybe that's a feminine trait I have. I don't know.
Maybe it
just reminds me of like, you know, the more plants you have, the more like natural and refreshing, you know, spaces. I don't like an industrial vibe.
Right.
As much as this.
Village Grind is like warm.
It is warm. Also, the vibe is greatly improved since they added the extra seating.
That's
'Cause
also
it
what I was going to
used
say.
to be, like tough to get a seat in there.
Yeah.
Real tough.
Yeah, it was really tough. Like I would go there and just probably get a coffee and leave
Yeah.
because it was really difficult to get a seat.
And what did they do? They ended up did they buy the location right next to it on the left if you're looking at it from Street View?
That's what I'm assuming. Yeah.
Okay. And then they expanded into that
busted
area.
through that wall.
Yeah. Good for them.
Yeah. And it's normally packed too. Normally you can find seats now, but it's still like most tables.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
filled.
it's like, in the middle of West Greenville. That's a very bumping area to run any kind of restaurant.
Right. But yeah, they have delicious coffee. They have seasonal drinks and also pastries. And one other thing I was going to note is Rise Bakery is a few doors down. So you can always like get a coffee at Village Grind and then go to Rise and get a morning bun or some other pastry or a loaf of bread.
That's maybe one of the best combos in Greenville.
Yeah.
We should do a segment on combos, like restaurant combos.
Yeah.
Not like snack bag combos.
Right.
If you're wondering if that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, I was thinking about the cheese infused pretzels.
I know, those are good. But I mean and I think I would do this the other way around. I would go to Rise and get one of their pastries or like a morning bun and then take it to Village Grind, get a coffee and then sit in there.
Yeah.
That would be hype.
That would be hype.
That sounds like an amazing Saturday morning.
I think we actually did that one time.
We definitely did that one time. We've probably talked about it before too.
Yeah.
Because it's such a good combo.
It's a really good combo. You can't go wrong.
Nope. Definitely can't go wrong. All right. Well, stay tuned. We're going to be continuing this coffee shop tour. We still haven't hit up some of the biggest name coffee shops in Greenville.
I know.
AKA Methodical and some others.
Yeah.
So this will be continuing. Don't worry. We are not going to leave them out. But we need to get into some events for this coming weekend. So first up, the breweries around town are throwing lots of parties as usual. And the one who throws maybe the most parties all year, Southern Side, is putting on an ugly Christmas sweater party. So there's going to be Christmas music, seasonal cocktails, and other holiday surprises. It starts at 11 a.m. and goes until midnight, and that's Friday, if I didn't say that.
Yeah, that is a party. 11 a.m. until midnight.
Yeah,
wow.
Classic Southern Side.
Next up, Fireforge is also hosting an ugly Christmas sweater party. Theirs is starting at 6 p.m. and they'll have live music from the Abby Elmore Band. They ask, in addition to bringing yourself and some Yuletide cheer, please also help them fill a donut bin. A donut bin. Help them fill a donation bin for Safe Harbor with new socks, not old socks, long sleeve shirts, pajamas, sweaters, jackets, and other winter weather clothing.
Yeah, it's awesome. Also, if you didn't know, Safe Harbor does a lot of work with domestic violence victims and stuff in the area. So they do really cool stuff. They're definitely worthy of donations and money. So give them some donations towards the bin.
Yep.
/ support them. On Saturday, Pangea is hosting Winterfest. So there's going to be unique last-minute holiday gifts and stocking stuffers from the local holiday vendors while enjoying festive food and drink specials. You can even bring your dog to take pictures with Santa. So pretty cool. They're going to be collecting donations for nonprofits like Make Greenville Greener, Happy Wheels, and Greenville Humane Society at the event.
Nice.
So we need to bring Ruby.
Yeah, she needs to get her annual picture with Santa.
She's never had a picture with Santa.
Right.
That
her annual picture starting this year.
We've been debating whether we're going to do a Christmas card this year because we're like, not as many people, like couples without kids, send out Christmas cards.
Yeah.
But what if we sent a Christmas card with just Ruby sitting with Santa?
That's a good idea.
And then we just had a write-up on the back, like about what we're up to, to keep people in the loop.
That's a great idea. We probably need to get on that.
We probably do.
Really fast.
It's really late to be doing this.
That's okay. Better late than never. Yeah. All right. Thursday through Sunday, it's your last chance to catch Charlie and the Chocolate Factory at the Greenville Theater. And you can head to greenvilletheater.org for tickets and more info.
And then a few reminders of the Christmas events that have been happening and are still going on in Greenville. One, the Festival of Trees is still happening at Courtyard Marriott downtown and Hyatt Regency, Greenville. Spectacularly decorated trees line the entranceway of these two hotels in downtown, giving visitors and community members the chance to experience the magic of the holidays. And it is happening every day through Christmas.
Very fun.
Very fun.
And Ice on Main is happening as well. This is the ice rink in the heart of downtown Greenville. It's located at Village Green near the Courtyard Marriott, and it's open Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. to 9 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And yeah, open 7 days a week, excluding Christmas, until January 15th.
Yep. I still haven't gotten up the nerve to go ice skating yet.
Also, the weather just hasn't been great for ice skating.
I know. Or at least, I don't know, like over the weekends, you know? So maybe it'll clear up.
We'll get there.
But I do really want to try it. My mom texted me and she was like, watch for your wrists, not your ankles, because I've broken my left wrist twice.
It's true.
And I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
You know, the last time I broke my wrist, I went to the orthopedic surgeon and he was like, next time you fall, because this was the second time I'd broken it, he's like, fall on your head instead of your wrist. So
wise words.
Maybe not the best advice from a doctor, but he did have some grounds for saying that. Lastly, Holidays at the Zoo is also happening starting every weekend until the end of December. Think of the Greenville Zoo meeting the magic of Christmas with lights, decorations, and music. You can head to the zoo's website to grab tickets for that.
Love it.
So thanks so much for listening to today's episode. And if you've watched on YouTube, thank you as well. If you haven't watched on YouTube and you want to see what we actually look like because you've been listening to our angelic voices for so long, now's your opportunity. Hop on the tube.
I do feel like that's always shocking when you listen to someone and you just have an idea of what they look like.
Yeah.
And then you don't know, which is kind of rare because that means they don't follow us on Instagram either.
Yeah.
And they just listen to us.
I would be interested to see what people think. If you listen to our podcast on a podcast player, hop on our YouTube and see what we look like and then comment and say whether we met your expectations or not. You probably also follow us on Instagram if you listen. Maybe not, though.
You might not.
You might not.
That would be a unicorn, but possible.
If you're out there, unicorn, let us know.
Let us know. Leave us a comment.
I'm interested.
And we'll catch you next week for the next weekly rundown.
All right. Catch you next week.